recording now.
Okay.
And live on Facebook. Let's see if it behaves today.
Know the feeling.
Preparing. It's a good sign. Can talk to your favorite mother-in-law. Actually, let me turn the volume down. Yay. Make sure it spelled your name right. All right, here we go. We think 3. Check your stream and all required information. Holy cow, here we go.
Huh.
Live. Setting up.
Hello, I think we're live.
I think we're live. It is now streaming. Hey, Facebook, welcome to Friday's edition of Authors Week. I am super excited. You have been getting little tidbits earlier in the week of this lovely lady's mention. This is Kebie Whitehead, and I'm so excited to introduce her to you guys. She is my coach, and I told her before we started recording, I said, Kebie, I don't have your book to hold up because I've been getting the real you in helping me break free of a variety of different things through our coaching. So welcome, Kebie.
Hey, I'm trying to accept this tag. Let me do that real quick so it'll go on my page.
Sure.
Okay, review tag and accept. Thank you.
Did it?
It's still spinning. Well, we can keep going. I'll wait on
it. Facebook at its finest, right? As we say often. So welcome, Kebie, officially, and thanks for joining me on Authors Week. As you know, Kat was interviewed yesterday, and she spoke very highly of the journey that she's been on with you as her coach to help her write a book. So I know you're going to have a whole lot of good insight and wisdom for us today about authorship. So first of all, tell us about your book.
Yeah, so the title of mine is Breaking Free, and that's kind of the coach I am. I help people break free from whatever they want to do, because there's lots of things holding us back, whether it's writing a book, whether it's developing a coaching program, whether it's building network marketing direct sales. Maybe you have jewelry, you make jewelry and you want to sell it, don't know how. So I just help people kind of jump off that ledge and say, let's go for it. And then not just saying it, but actually having a map, a blueprint, something to help them. So with all that said, my mission and passion is to help people break free, whatever's holding them back. And that is a process, of course. But in my book, I talk about Bible studies that help people live the life they want to live. So I talk about living the life by design. And it's whatever that design is for you, because what it is for you is different for me, right? So sometimes it's about just breaking free from programming of what we think success is, because we look at success for other people, but we've never even looked at it for ourselves. So that in a nutshell is about, you know, what the book's about. And then it's really just centered around what I do and what my purpose is in helping people break free. So.
Very cool. So, you know, I've never even bothered to ask you this question, shame on me, but which came first, the chicken or the egg? Did you start coaching and then the book came out of that? Or did you write the book? When did you write the book?
Yeah, so that's funny. I've been training a long time. I started in veterinary medicine and I trained staff, and then I actually got to train on computer systems. So it was called like a DMV
Yeah.
something software. And I trained, and then I moved into healthcare, and the same thing happened for me. I started at the front desk, moved up into management, and eventually got to tip my toe into EHR, the EMR, the electronic medical record. So I was able to go around and train people all over the US on their software. So at my heart, I've been a trainer. With that, you're a coach, whether you think you are or not. Maybe I didn't have a t-shirt that said coach, but I really was coaching people out of fear of using software. And so, yeah, I wrote my book actually 2016. I was confirming the date. My son was born in 2013. We started our network marketing business. So I really started training people in that area then. I started coaching on social media. But the coach I am today happened after my book. So I feel like the book helped me break free, and it
Oh,
helped me to do what I'm called to do, and that was work from home. And I write about that in my book. But I loved what I did training people, but I didn't like hopping planes and being gone away from my kids. So that's when I looked up and said, you know, I'm making really good money, but is this worth it? Because I'm not living. I was dying. And that's, you know, what's in my book. I was truly dying. I was missing my children. And so we had to take a step back and figure out, what do we want? And for me, I wanted to do what I was doing, but I wanted to do it from home. And it was funny, the people I worked with laughed and said, good luck, hope you find it. And I did. I did. But if I'd have listened to that, I would have never found it, because I'd have let them put that in my mind. But I did find it, and now I'm able to work from home. I've been doing that since 2016, fully solid. 2017, I've been working from home. Well, actually, it started about 2015. Then I wrote my book while I was at home, because the book talks about how I did that and how the process. But now I'm 100% from home, remote work, and I love it. I love having my kids here. And to me, that's my life by design. I wanted to be home with my kids. I did not want to send them to daycare. I didn't want people raising them. I wanted to be a part of their life, and that was important to me. So,
yep. And I think that's, you know, we have that commonality in our background, because I trained EHRs as
yeah,
well.
right.
And it's fun, it's exciting, but you're right. When I started doing it, I was single, and I was like, sure, you know, let's go and send me as often as you can. I'll see the country on your dime. And
Yeah.
then when Jeff and I got married and I became an overnight mom, I was like, oh, it's not nearly as much fun. I mean, it was still fun, but it wasn't as much, because they were home and I wasn't there with them. So
Right.
I totally understand that. Um, let's see. Okay, second question is, talk to us a little bit about your journey of writing, because I know a lot of people think or dream, maybe one day I'd love to write a book, or I know I have a book in me, but I can't write a book, or, you know, they defeat themselves before they even put their first word on paper. So talk to us a little bit about that journey for you. Did you wake up one morning and it was just done? You know, lock yourself in a room for a weekend and here's my book.
Yeah, no. So I feel called to write the book. I feel like God told me, write. And in that obedience, I need to write another book and just share all the blessings that have come through that. But my businesses were booming, and God told me to pull back. And He showed me things in the businesses I was in to redirect me. But if I wouldn't have listened, I wouldn't have seen with my eyes. So I took 3 months off and I wrote my book, and that's on top of working a full-time job. So I worked all day, and then I wrote at night, and I wrote through the weekends. I carved out time. I'm a communications major, so I kind of had a leg up on writing. But what I did was do it by myself, no agent, self-published. I figured it all out. And so with that, I didn't hire a coach. But if someone has a book in them and they are struggling, they need to hire a coach. They need to hire someone that not just helps them with the end result, but coaches them through the process. Because what I see happen, is people will just make excuses and never write and never finish and never do it. But with a coach, you're investing in someone to help you, so you're held accountable. And through life, because we can't stop, you know, we have some of us kids, jobs, everything else. You got to fit the book in. And most people get blocks. They get writer's blocks. They get self-sabotaging. They don't feel worthy. I see all kinds of stuff. So I've helped a couple people now write books. I've helped many people write ebooks and coaching programs. So if anybody's interested in with me, Kat and I are actually going to co-coach in 2020 and help about 5 people write books. We do not write them for you, but we coach you through it. So for me, I was able to do it, Denise. It took me 3 months, but a lot of the stuff I had already done Bible studies on. Mm-hmm. So I had the content in my head. I know people who write can tell you that, like, my content's right here in my head. I just got to put it down. So it was already there. And then I did have some like Bible studies already, you know, typed out, wrote out that I did on calls. And I took a lot of time just compiling and sifting and sorting and figuring out this goes in this chapter, you know. So I had a lot done. I would say for a book this size, if you just were starting with nothing, you could probably get done in 6 months to a year if you really work with somebody and pull it out. But it took me 3 months on top of a job. So I was very part-time writing. But yeah, that's how long it took.
So how many pages is your book? Mm-hmm. Just from a comparison standpoint.
Yeah, let's go there.
Let's see. Kat is, well, I have to put my glasses on to see Kat.
Well, mine's 143, but that includes like about the author at the back and all that. So the last page being 143.
Yep, and hers is 112, so a little bit larger, but it's certainly not a, you know, thick Danny Johnson kind of dissertation book. So just to give people an idea of what size of a book was compiled by you in that period of time. Okay, let's see here. Fabulous, good insights there. How has being an author impacted your life?
Well, I think for anybody who's like coaching or training or trying to build influence, especially online, being a published author gives you a lot of influence and credibility. But for me, I didn't write my book to be a bestseller. I didn't write my book to make a lot of money. I was called to write the book. So if this lands on someone that helps them build a relationship with God, I've done what I'm supposed to. So for me, it's not, I feel like that I'm more credible, and to some people, they feel like, oh, wow, she's public. If you heard my dad talk about me, you would just think I was like a celebrity in Hollywood. And that does make me feel really good, because that's something my dad really values that I did on my own, was write a book. He goes around telling everybody I'm an author, and I'm like, it's really not that big of a deal. But to him, it is. So I think to some people, it is a big deal that you've sat down and done the work. I know that when Kat published, she was like, I see why people don't do this, because it takes a lot of energy, emotional energy, exhaustion, really, the energy out to do it. So I would say, yes, it's helped me, but that's not what my intentions were. My intentions were really just for churches to use this, or people who do Bible studies to use my book around, you know, whatever lessons they're trying to teach. So that was really the purpose of it.
Very cool. Yeah, I think one of the themes that so far every author has been sharing is that it is exhausting, especially the ones who have written about their personal journey. To pour that out for, you know, to bare their soul to the world to see, is that a level of transparency that most people aren't willing to do. So it's quite a journey. I'm very inspired by all of you that I have interviewed so far, and I have 2 more people left the rest of this week. And then I think you probably already touched on a lot of this, but just in case there's something else that we haven't talked about, if somebody is listening or watching this who is that person that says, one day I'd like to write a book, or I've been thinking about a book, or I've got these Post-it notes all over my wall or my head. I've got it in me, but it's just not out. What advice would you give them to get it into a published position?
Yeah, so with the internet today and Amazon, which Amazon was founded around being a place of books. Amazon is now a place you can self-publish, and if you can go figure it out, go figure it out. I have looked around to see the price of someone teaching you, and it can be anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. So that's without any coaching. That's just, here's the steps. I mean, you could go try to figure it out, but to me, I would hire somebody that's been there, done that, and there are affordable coaches that will deliver and will help you publish. But to answer your question, what would I say to someone? I would say, what are you waiting for? Like, because I mean, how much longer are you going to wait to do it? And the story dies if you don't allow it to, pen to paper. But I feel like everybody has a story inside them. Everybody has a book inside them, and we're all uniquely made. Of course, we know that, but some people, they would write like Kat and I, giving tips, sharing our story. But at the end, we may give you some tools to help equip you with whatever the book's about. But then you have people who want to write just fun stuff, maybe stories, or it could be a reality TV show. Who knows what could happen? Like, we don't know. But the possibilities today is that you don't have to hire an agent. You don't have to spend 10 grand. You don't have to even buy marketing. I've been able to publish and sell, and I've got a check every month since 2016. Some of the checks have been $14 and some have been $140. It just depends on book sales, but I've had no advertising other than my own advertising online or somebody getting my book and referring it. One of my biggest months, Denise, because God told me, just write the book. I'll take care of things. But one of my biggest months, I had a church do my book in their Sunday school.
Oh,
So
cool.
a couple hundred copies went out, and that was a great month. But no advertising.
Did you know that, like, was it a church that you knew about, or had you spoken there, or did you just see this big check and you went, what happened this month?
Yes. And the way Amazon works, it doesn't show you who buys your book unless they, do a review for you. You don't get like a list. So I didn't know, but come to find out, back going backwards, someone had referred the book, and it had just word of mouth that somebody said, hey, we need to do this book. And I was just called out to have my book done. So yeah, I would love to meet them, and I haven't. And I'd love to like go to their church and just say, hey, and yeah, I would love that. But that is exactly the purpose of the book and what it was meant to do. And so, for me, my intentions weren't to get rich off the book. If I do, that's great. But my intentions were that the book help someone in their studies and get closer to God.
Yeah. And so you still don't know who the church is? No. Interesting. So if anybody out there is watching and you go to a church that did Breaking Free as part of your Bible study, then Kebie would love to meet you. Yes, very cool. So anything else that you want to share about your journey or book writing or anything?
I would just tell anybody out there that thinks that they have a book inside them to not listen to anybody but your own voice. And don't sabotage it away, because people who tell you that you can't, or people who tell you that, I don't know, I heard things, Denise, like, we have enough published authors. I'm like, why would that even come out of somebody's mouth? But there's just a lot of hatred in the world, and people are very quick to call out things that are their problems. But they're doing it at us or me or you, but it's really not our problem, it's theirs. It's their own fear, it's their own issues. So just don't let those things take root. Go do what you're called to do and know that you can. And with the internet, I get very excited. With internet and Facebook and social media and the platforms we have, you can go write a book for less than $500 and hire a coach to help you, and that you're out the door. So if it does sell and you earn money, you're at 100% profit on a book that you wrote a couple years ago. So that is a royalty type thing, right? That's a residual or leveraged based income that can come in for you. And I believe that it's also influence. So you're able to say, I'm a published author. And so I would just say, don't listen to naysayers and hop up and do it. And that's kind of my message today. Is not about buying my book. It's more about go write your own book.
Yeah. And I can tell you, even though Kebie has not worked with me on a book in the form of, a book at the library or that you would buy, she has helped me do something that I personally never thought that I would be able to do, and that is to write my own online class content, and not just one, but I think I'm up to 4 now, and there's 3 more that are in the pipeline that'll be finished probably first quarter of next year. So if you have questions, if you have interest in authoring or learning social media or business coaching, if you are stuck, if you need to get out of your own way, I would highly, 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 highly recommend Kebie. Have a conversation with her. She is totally honest and will tell you, yeah, I'm right for you, or no, I'm not. So it's been a journey, and I've loved it, and I am honored that I had the privilege to interview you today, Miss Kebie.
Thank you so much for doing that and for your time. And I think in closing, I could just call out the chapters of my book so people will know what it's about. Yeah. So chapter 1, I talk about vision, your vision, your purpose, your assignment. Chapter 2 is your atmosphere, your environment. Chapter 3, the law of sowing and reaping. The chapter 4, connecting with the right people. And chapter 5, forgiveness. Chapter 6, the power of words. And chapter 7, release and gratitude. So my book is really life skills. It can be applied to anything in someone's life to have a better, successful life, whatever success is for that person. Thank you for the platform today, Denise, and for asking me to be to interview me, and I appreciate you so much.
Well, it was my pleasure. Thanks for being on.
Bye.
All right. See ya. Stop live stream and stop recording.